Hey there, I'm Mr. Know-It-All, the lead swing trading analyst trader at Swing Trade Pros, the #1 swing trading and bot community in the world. And I genuinely want to help you make your mark in the thrilling world of swing trading cryptocurrency. I've been trading since 2017 and I've taught myself many different trading strategies, patterns. I'm known for the falling wedge pattern, as you guys might know. I've dedicated my life to mastering these types of structures and patterns, and now my goal is to impact the lives of 1 million of you. You heard that right. My goal is to impact 1 million people this full cycle. Let that be you. Cryptocurrency markets can be a roller coaster ride, full of ups and downs. But through swing trading, I've discovered a strategy that can truly make a difference. I've poured countless hours to studying the intricacies of wedge patterns, rising wedge patterns, you name it. And it has become my area of expertise. Here's the thing. I genuinely want to see you thrive in this market. That's why I've made it my mission to impact 1 million of you. I want to provide you with the tools, insight, and support you need to navigate this exciting but challenging landscape. Swing trading is not just about technical analysis. It's about understanding market psychology and developing disciplined risk management strategies. I'll be there to guide you step by step as we identify different types of patterns and structures and seize profitable opportunities. Together, we'll build your confidence in trading skills, ensuring you're well prepared to face the twists and turns of swing trading. Believe me when I say that I genuinely care about your success. That's why I'm inviting you to join me, Mr. Know-It-All, on this transformative journey. Let's make the most of this full cycle and work towards your financial freedom together. You'll find all my links in my bio. Reach out and let's dive into this world of swing trading. I'm here to support you and your family and guide you every step of the way because your success matters to me. Together, let's make a real impact and achieve trading success.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. How's everyone doing tonight? All right. So Bitcoin's price action holding 29.3 at the moment. Weekly candle, kind of a nothing burger candle. I mean, you could say it's engulfing last week, technically right this very moment, but I wouldn't really say much of anything happened last week aside from a rejection at 30.2K on an attempt of breaking the wedge, which I guess we did break out of this wedge, but we didn't really see much follow through on the movement up, right? So let's take a look at our oscillators here. Daily's pointing down right now on regular candles. And on HA candles, let's go to the weekly. Weekly also oscillating down. Our monthly oscillators are still elevated here. We're still fine as long as we don't kind of turn the corner and kind of close below, 80 on the monthly chart. So we could see a little bit of sideways price action. We could see a retest of the bottom of the range again. I'm not inclined to believe some major rally is going to happen right now. But the 2-day and the 3-day stochastics are at the bottom. So we could consolidate here for the next day or two, kind of reset the daily oscillator and the 4-hour oscillator. And we could just go sideways, consolidate, or maybe even, like I said before, like maybe retest, 28.7 or something. But so far, we're holding this 29.3 level, so that's good. Not really too much happening right now with the Bitcoin price. I do want to show you guys, I want to look at Tether and what Tether is doing. So Tether holding this 7.38 region. I would say below 7.43, we can kind of lean to upside because that's this level right here, this 7.43 region. As long as we close candles below it, I think that we're going to be okay. But it looks like Tether's trying to make a push back up. If that happens, we could see some downside, right? So daily stochastics are pointing up. 2-day stochastics Haven't crossed up just yet. The weekly is kind of the concern right now, is that the weekly stochastics are slated to the upside. Above 20 here is the buy signal on Tether. So we got to monitor this and see how this goes throughout this week. The monthly is still down here, kind of crossed down, not really showing us that a buy signal has come in on the monthly. So I'm not really too concerned about that right now. However, it's holding the bullish territory right here around 60, unfortunately. But this isn't like the area that I'd be looking to buy Tether, right? Like the area to buy Tether would be, below 50, or if you go to the weekly, below that 45 region. So like here was a great place to buy Tether, and that happened to be the top of the cycle, right? So yeah, it's a little bit concerning. I think we're looking at some chop action right now. The daily is, slated up right here on Tether. We just closed the candle for the week. And yep, Tether on the weekly is still in bullish territory on the RSI. And like I said before, I just got some RSI crosses on KNC and stuff. All right, cool. So we'll see how this weekly price action opens. We didn't quite engulf last week's candle on Tether, so it's just still kind of trending up for now. And we're in this major flag pennant. All right. So that's really the analysis right now. I'm kind of slated to sideways price action or even a bit of downside with the daily stochastics kind of pointing down. And the 2-day got a reset, but nothing can really happen until the 4-hour oscillators reset. And like I said, that weekly, all right, so here we go. We're printing some short signals right now. That weekly oscillator, not looking too good for voting for Bitcoin on the weekly. So we could be looking at some downside. But as far as the RSI is concerned, we're still sitting in bullish territory. Not really too concerned just yet. We'll take a look at the rest of the market here in a second. Let me get some tunes on here. Let's see what we got. All right, so look at ETH. ETH kind of the same, right? The oscillator is kind of pointing down on the weekly chart. The 2-day stochastics, kind of came in with the buy signal, but again, that could just translate into some sideways price action. The larger term timescales are going to kind of dictate. So if the weekly is pointing down, well, we could kind of see some downside on ETH. Daily also kind of pointing down and sitting neutral on the RSI. So again, maybe some sideways action, some downside action to retest the range lows. This asset hasn't been able to produce a higher high in quite some time. So it is holding the lows, right? We are holding the lows. Our 2-week oscillator does not look very good at all. That is a 2-week sell signal on Ethereum. Monthly is going to try to push that up. 3-week is crossing up. I mean, there's some conflicts here on the time scale. So it could just mean some sideways action or maybe a bit of downside, short-term downside. Right, we could be looking at to retest 1700. That could happen if Bitcoin decides that it's going to come down. Right, and we just looked at Bitcoin. It didn't look the best. It wasn't a very clear story, right? It was just kind of meandering in a range. So all right, let's go to traditional markets because that still kind of dictates stuff. So the dollar is trying to break out. 2-week stochastics pointing up, weekly stochastics pointing up. I mean, what do you guys want to see? 2-day The 2-day already up here, but still pointing up. Daily pointing up. Not looking good for risk assets right this very moment if the dollar is going to break out. And technically, it is technically out right now on the daily. Just kind of covered it, man. If the dollar is pushing, it's going to be tough for the stock market to really run. All right. And the NASDAQ, starting its breakdown from the 886 fib extension, kind of rejected the 786 here. Hanging on to a channel here that, man, if that breaks, could be some trouble. We'll see. Like I said, long-term oscillators look bullish, right? Short-term oscillators could generate some sideways action or some retesting some ranges, reset the oscillators. Like the 4-hour here on the NASDAQ is pointing up, for example, right? The daily is also pointing up, but it hasn't crossed 20. So we could see a push out of the NASDAQ tomorrow, maybe, if the dollar decides that it's not going to really rally hard. But yeah, I mean, your major support here on the NASDAQ right now is 14,836. Yeah, we are, for crypto land, we are definitely in accumulation phases right now. We might get one more major dump or major crash before the halving. And I think that's where we're at in terms of the cycle. I wanted to also cover what was something that was interesting to look at on Bitcoin, okay? And we're going to cover this right now. So if you go to the weekly chart, for example, so far Bitcoin is fine as long as it doesn't start making candle closes back into the Gaussian channel. We have the Gaussian channel turned green, okay? Please take note of this. When the Gaussian channels turn green, historically, it's the start of a bull market, all right? Obviously, if you start making candles back into the Gaussian channel, we had some trouble. This was the COVID crash, right? But if we go back to 2015, 2016 cycle, which I think is kind of what we're emulating, truthfully, all right? And I'll explain why in a second. No candle closes back into the Gaussian channel on the weekly chart, all right? And that's how we knew we were in a bull market. As soon as we started making a close into the Gaussian channel, it was done. Bull market over. All right. So that's why the title of the stream is Bull Market Phase 1 to Phase 2, because back here, as soon as the Gaussian channel turned green, it was about four months until Bitcoin really did something, okay? So we could be entering this second phase is what I'm talking about right now, all right? So by the end of the year, we could see Bitcoin maybe do something, all right? So that's kind of what we're looking at right now, or that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. As long as we don't make candle closes back into the channel, Gaussian channel, I think we can go sideways. We can consolidate, whatever. We can retest, 28.7 right now. That would be the bottom of the range. And I think all is well. Nothing to be concerned about. All right. I think that's a pretty big thing to look at. By the way, I am in a long trade right now on Synapse Protocol. we did take a live trade on this. All right. We entered it before. My plan is to swing trade this to about the 70-cent region. And I'm about to show you why, because, well, it's at the bottom of a range on a daily support in a falling wedge. And it broke out of the wedge. And our daily oscillators are pointing up. We have a squeeze that's triggering to the north side here. The 2-day chart also pointing up. Also over, kind of not oversold, but in the buy zone, right? Stochastics here crossing up on the daily and the 2-day chart. So I think we can see some nice movement back up on this asset. And that is the reason why we took a trade on it. All right, so Synapse Protocol down here. Yes, it's at a level of resistance on the 2-day. But it is actually technically above it right now. And my swing target is really to the top of this range, which is about that 70-cent region. All right. Some assets look pretty good right here, even though Bitcoin's doing a bunch of nothing. I want to also let's look at total 3. Because that is the altcoin market, all right? And technically, it's out of this wedge, just consolidating here on the weekly. And yeah, the weekly stochastics are pointing down. But look at your RSI. So the RSI is still neutral, okay? And I would say after we did break out of this wedge on the RSI, you could argue that this was that retest, whatever you want to call that. It's tough to do TA on an RSI, but if we are going to do TA on an RSI, then we're looking at something like this. It's still making a higher low, right? We're still holding on to neutral on the weekly. And our 2-day chart is also still holding on to neutral. Our monthly chart is still down here. We have monthly bullish divergence on the RSI, okay? Coming months, coming weeks, I think are going to be very good for altcoins down here. A lot of them are wrecked. A lot of them are at major critical levels. You know, monthly stochastics are down here versus if we looked at Bitcoin, monthly stochastics on Bitcoin were already extended, already pushing up to the top, right? So I think lots of upside here to come for the altcoin market. Just going to need to be patient with it. Lots of setups on the horizon here, guys. Lots of setups on the charts. All right, nothing to be really too concerned about. All right, I think maybe like I said before, some sideways price action for Bitcoin. Maybe a big move up. We'll see. But it's not, the charts aren't really dictating that right now. So Bitcoin, I think, can consolidate, do a bunch of nothing burger, while altcoins actually catch up to Bitcoin. That's my take on the market right now. KNC was an interesting setup. We posted this in the Discord if you guys are part of it. You know, kind of back testing this breakdown, but was in a nice little wedge structure there. And yeah, perfectly came up to test it, okay? But looks like it's trying to make an inverse head and shoulders type of structure here. 4-hour became overbought. We touched 70 cents, you know, literally back tested. But we're going to see if this pushes back into this structure, man. This can really go. Like the 2-day chart. Look at the 2-day stochastics. Those 2-day stochastics are telling you something, man. Like this thing has momentum swinging back up, not down, swinging back up. All right. Cool. So like I said, some altcoins look really good right now. Some altcoins look like they can make some major moves, major pushes. All right. Live Pure token was called out in the chat. This thing ripped pretty hard out of this wedge pattern. Big breakout, right? Beautiful breakout. Another one that we called out here is Arweave, all right? Pay attention to this one. This one just made a double bottom on the weekly chart. Didn't close green, but you go to your 2-day, your 2-day candle just hammered right off the low. All right, bottom of the range again. Bottom of the range. These are great places to strategize taking long positions. 2-day stochastic pointing up. Your RSI pointing up here on the 2-day chart. Again, I think low risk areas here for some of these assets. And obviously do your own due diligence, right? Do your own research on these projects. But Arweave is a blockchain that Meta is going to be using for their metaverse storage. So I think there's a use case there, right? At least for some mainstream adoption with it. Blue Zell had a pretty astounding day today. This thing was up like 50-something%. And yeah, this thing broke out. Big breakout. I missed this one, to be honest with you guys, but looks like a descending triangle breakout. So look at that volume, man. That was confirmed on the volume there for sure. Rune, we spoke about Rune in the chat. Falling wedge breakout. Top of the resistance line up here, I have plotted to about $3. All right, that's a major move, guys. That's a major move. Unfi was spoken about. I even posted about it. Coiling up here for a descending triangle breakout as well. Right, look at the weekly. Weekly stochastics pointing up. We have tail end weekly bullish divergence on the RSI. Beautiful setup here. C98 falling wedge breakout. Volume confirming the breakout. Again, with the weekly bullish divergence on the RSI, the weekly stochastics pointing up. I mean, guys, there's just so many. There's so many S coins out there that are ready to go. So pick and choose wisely, of course, but you can swing trade some of these, roll them back into BTC and ETH, of course, ApeCoin's another one. This one just broke out, finally. We've been speaking about this one for quite some time, but this is a major wedge structure, guys. Weekly stochastics are just taken up. Weekly RSI is wrecked city at 28 on the RSI. I suspect this thing to make major moves in the coming weeks, man. Let's look at H-bar. We love H-bar. H-bar stochastics are kind of already topping out a bit on the weekly chart. It's losing and lost a lot of momentum on that push, man. But yeah, I mean, I would say this just back testing right now. We still got this engulfing candle that's active on it around that 5.3 cent region. And yeah, broke a major channel, broke the major, I would call this a channel, broke the major channel. We didn't see a crazy amount of volume come in, but still looks okay. Weekly RSI is not overbought. Weekly RSI just going bullish. All right. We took this trade off the 3-day time scale. And if you guys remember, we had the triple RSI divergence and we entered when it was oversold on the 3-day chart. So right around this 4 or 5 cent region here, we're still in the swing trade. All right. I don't plan to exit this trade until the end of the cycle. So this double bottom right here is still active. That bullish engulfing candle is still active for it. So H-bar looking pretty good. Let's look at Solana. Let's look at XRP. Let's look at some of these majors, right? Solana, descending broadening wedge breakout, right? Low, higher, low, double bottom, got the breakout. I would call this now consolidating along the 618 bib extension here. Nothing to really be of concerned about right this very moment with this asset. Holding the level. All right, getting a reset on the 2 and 3-day charts probably here. The 2-day crossing up, the 3-day resetting. So probably a bit of consolidation or maybe a retest of this low before its next leg up. Because let's go to the monthly chart. Monthly stochastics poised for upside. Monthly RSI sitting at 43. All right, this is looking pretty good. There is nothing up here. It is straight down, guys. Once this asset breaks above that $30 to $40 region, we could see $70 in no time. That's the next fib extension up here, all right? So Solana looking pretty good, man. I got to say, it looks pretty good from a technical point of view. ENS, let's take a look at it. Here, name search. So that's a real company, real business. I mean, there's not really a lot of data on this coin, but from the data that we do have, we're not broken out just yet. But we might be forming a descending triangle. A lot of these coins are forming descending triangles, okay? We might be looking at one more retest of the $8 region. And the reason why I say that is because the weekly stochastics are crossing down here. All right, so maybe one more test of this 850 region before a breakout. Yeah, the 4 hour is not looking too bullish. It's still looking pretty slummy, pretty bearish, okay? INJ, let's take a look at it. All right, so INJ's daily stochastics getting a reset here, so that's interesting. The 2-day also in the buy zone, hasn't crossed up yet. 3-day chart also got the reset. The weekly, not really giving us too much inclination of what it's going to do, but the daily, 2-day, and 3-day got resets. So if it starts to push up, the weekly will tick up, all right? So yeah, I mean, volume kind of tapered off here, all right? So a big move could be coming for INJ. Could be to the downside, though, because let's look at the monthly, right? The monthly stochastics are already topped out. We haven't crossed, the 80 line just yet, but that's something to watch for, okay? And this thing already did almost a 78.6% retracement. So it went on a major run already. But yeah, this volume declining here is of concern, okay? If volume was building or starting to come back in up here, then I would say, hey, man, we got volume coming on this asset. We could see some more upside. But for now, I'm targeting, $5 or even $4 range, the next fib level down if we get continued correction on it. Filecoin, sure, let's take a look at it. Filecoin monthly, pointing up. 2-week, pointing down. Weekly, pointing down. 3-week, pointing up. So that just tells me we're going to have some sideways price action, some more consolidation in the range. I don't know if this is the right chart. This is the right chart. I'm still inclined to believe at some point Filecoin is going to make a run, but maybe not right now. So it did break this little wedge. It is consolidating again in a wedge of sorts. Hasn't broke out just yet, man. It's pointing down on the 4-hour chart. Like I said before, the dollar is kind of like meandering right now. The dollar looks bullish, unfortunately. Tough for this market to really run if the dollar is looking bullish. Sure, we'll look at VeChain and TRB. So technically, it's out of the wedge. I don't know which time scale I use. Probably the weekly, right? Yeah, okay. So this was drawn on the weekly time scale. Technically, it's out right now. Your weekly stochastics are coming down. Your RSI is holding neutral. Your monthly looks great. Monthly is telling you lots of upside to come. 2-day pointing up, okay. So you could be just consolidating for here for a bit before push up, and the push up would be up to about that 2-cent region. If you break that, and you're looking at the top of this range, about 2.7. You break that, you're going to the 618, which is 3.5 cents. And then this is a major level of resistance right here, right? So that's your level to look at around that 3.5 to 4 cent region for VeChain. TRB. So TRB looks kind of interesting here. We do have a major trend line here that we have been respecting for quite some time. We'll take a look at dot in KSM, Aaron. Thanks, man. So TRB RSI is bullish on the 2-day. TRB also about to get a cross up here on the stochastics, the weekly chart. Weekly chart is already extended, but it hasn't crossed down just yet. So there could be some more gas left in this tank. And I would say your short-term target is 1860. That would be the major trend line. You break the major trend line, I would say your target would be like up here, okay? $46 in time for this asset. And the reason why I say that, because your monthly chart looks great. And so 24 is a big level, $25 is a big level too. But yeah, ultimately I would say up to that $50 region in time. Next couple months. Because your weekly, 2-week, 3-week, everything is pointing up here, man. This is a great buying opportunity down here for sure. All right, even if you don't get a breakout right away. I mean, I would think at some point this chart is going to really make a move, all right? We'll look at XRP first. We didn't look at that. All right, so XRP, just consolidating after that break, holding the parabolic curve trend line here. Hasn't broke it, hasn't touched it yet. I feel like when it does come into contact with that, that's when we're going to get a nice rip out of here. All right. Monthly on XRP. Poised for upside in the monthly, sitting at 56 on the RSI. Your 2-month at the bottom. Man, I mean, this thing is going to just send, dude. Like, the next 3 to 6 months for XRP, if this thing doesn't go up, man, like, I don't know what to say, because this right here looks absolutely insane. Okay. All right, let's look at DOT. I got a bag of DOT too. This thing is, yeah, I got a 3-week cross up here, 2-week, nothing burger. You can say it crossed down, but I mean, your larger time scales are going to play here. Your weekly cross down, your 2-day oscillator is pointing back up already. So you could be looking at a retest of the range low for a triple bottom or something. At worst case scenario, that's what you'd be looking at. Coming back down to that major level. But it looks like, you know, the selling is kind of weakening, right? You broke that major trend line there, and you're just came back down to retest the bottom of the range. I mean, it's not the best asset, man. Really, it's not. There's lots of assets that look a lot better than DOT right now, unfortunately. But this is your range that you're in, okay? And you're towards the bottom of the range. And yeah, you got to get back above that $6 level. That's a big level for DOT. All right, this area right here. 660, 670, that region. But yeah, it looks like you got like a weak bounce to meet a lower high and might just tick back down a bit. All right. Good time to accumulate it down here for sure. Right? Like your weekly RSI is probably wrecked. Yeah, I mean, if you got weekly RSIs below 45, man, you're in the accumulation zone for this asset. And on the monthly, you're sitting at 44, also accumulation area for an asset like this, okay? And your monthly is about to tick up. XRP partner with Amazon. I don't know. Did it? I think that's old news. Didn't they already have that established? All right, KSM. Kind of a lot like DOT here, you know, not really doing too much. Your weekly is ticked up though, right? Versus what DOT looks like. The weekly's ticked up, which is good. You did break this wedge, but you came back to the low and just, well, you retested the low. But yeah, it maybe looks like some sort of double, quadruple bottom. I mean, man, that is a lot of, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 touches off the low, man. I mean, if you touch this low one more time, I'm kind of scared that this might drop lower. But the weekly's ticked up, so let's see if we get some bullish price action on it. We got a trend line here to break. All right. Technically out of it on the daily chart, and we put a candle above it. So that's looking pretty good. So KSM, maybe we end up seeing some upside on it. All right. Daily's pointing up. 2 days pointing up. 3 days pointing up. I mean, we got daily, 2 day, and 3 day pointing up, bro. So that looks pretty good to me. Put another hammer candle here on the 3 day chart. Got a little bit of follow through price action. So I would say your short-term target is back to the top of the range. All right. I mean, you might get caught up at this level here, you know, that 31 level, because that was a previous neckline. But if you break back above 30, you're going to see $45 in no time. All right. This is all given Bitcoin doesn't just shit itself and just break down. Because if that happens, well, these technicals will be out of the loop. Right. Cool. So that's KSM. Not looking bad. I would say not looking bad at all. If you guys want a real shit coin, excuse my language, but a real shit coin, this XEN token, this thing looks crazy, right? Hang on, let me find the chart that I want you guys to see. I think, is it on MEXC? Yeah, MEXC. All right, man. This one right here. This is one of the craziest shitcoin charts I've seen in a while, man. Let me just redraw this for you guys. All right, so we have when the token dropped. We have a level here. We have a level here. We have a level here. And we're going to plot this from the wick and from the bottom. So this thing looks like it made a double bottom. Pretty clear with the bullish engulfing candle on the 3-day chart. And here's the daily, okay? Daily stochastics are coming down, but your weekly, I mean, it's not even chartable, man. I mean, I would say it's pointing up, okay? But here's your 3-day. 3 days pointing up. This asset's so wrecked. Look at the RSI, man. 7. It's reading a 7 on the RSI, okay? If this, I don't know what this coin does, man, but if this thing goes up, it's gonna do stupid stuff, man. Like, why can't it go all the way back up to here? That's a 1,500% move, man. Crazy. Some of these charts look stupid. This one looks stupid. And yeah, you got volume confirming that low there too. So that's telling you something about the chart itself. So just watch this S coin, all right? This is a real S coin, man, but that's a falling wedge. That's a falling wedge. And you got a breakout. You're just back testing this break right now. Just pay attention to it. I think that this thing is going to see some action. Look, it's just consolidating right here, man. I mean, dude, if this thing just starts, I mean, you guys know how I feel about wedge patterns. Jack Levin, it's real popular. Okay, well, there you go. Bull flag out of a breakout area here. I mean, yeah, dude, this thing looks like it's going to do some stupid shit. Okay. Lots of upside to be had here on this one. Neckline is up here at 90,631. That's almost a 10x trade, guys. This could take 3 to 4 months to get back up here because after this parabolic move, it took about since April to August. So what is that? 4 months? Yeah, 3 to 4 months, man. This thing is send. Very low risk down here for something like this, okay? Do your own research, of course, but man, look at the 2-day. You had a look at the RSI break. Look at that. Broke that consolidation range, right? Like, boom. You're going to back test this 34 level on the RSI. And, man, I think you're going to just send, dude. Like, there's nothing else to talk about. Straight down, straight up. That's it. Cool. Waves is another one. I am in a swing trade on this coin. All right. Two-day stochastics are pointing up. This didn't get a break just yet. Actually, I think it did. Is that out? Okay, so it didn't really break out. It like tried to break out. Lots of scam wicks on this though, man. Yeah, I mean, some of these coins are just, there's not a lot of liquidity. So you can see the demand line here, okay? It's kind of down sloping, so just, but we're pretty close to it. We're kind of at it. See if I can draw a better horizontal here on this. I would say that's about right. Okay, so maybe a descending triangle on this one. All right, watch your RSI. It's coming back to neutral on the 4-hour. The daily is sitting neutral also, but look what it's doing. This could be an inverse head and shoulders pattern setting up on the RSI, okay? Yeah, your daily stochastics are pointing down. Your weekly stochastics are also about to cross down. 2 week, about to cross, but still up there. But your RSI is nowhere near overbought, man. Your RSI is sitting at neutral. What's going on, Jesus? How you doing, bro? Anyways, something to watch here on this token, okay? Monthly chart, about to get a buy signal on the monthly. I mean, look for an entry is what I'm trying to say, okay? I'm in around this 190 region myself. They're giving me like 10% or something APY to hold this thing. I'm going to hold it. I'm trading the monthly chart. Monthly RSI is neutral. This is where you want to be buying assets usually, okay? And yeah, I have a swing target up to almost that $8 region. Why? Because that is probably a major fib extension. Also is confluent with a major resistance level on the monthly chart. We do have a couple levels that are resistance, but this is another level here. I would say that's probably a big level, that $6 level. But Waves token doesn't look too bad. Alice is another one here that looks ready to rock, man. This thing looks like it's ready to go. Volume is completely receded here. Your 2 week is starting to round out. Your weekly crossed up. Looks like a major wedge structure. Right? Hasn't broke out yet, so this is something that you might want to look to consider. Alice, 2-day stochastics crossing up, 3-day stochastics crossing up. This is probably going to break out in the next couple days, man. All right, just put this one on your watch list and watch it because it's going to do something. All right, XCAD, take a look at it. I feel like we've heard about this one before. XCAD, technically broken out. This looks like a channel breakout on the 3-day chart. RSI is very elevated at 80 on the RSI. Your weekly chart, not overbought just yet, but that 3-day is telling you something, man. All right. Nice. Elephant money is a good coin. So XCAD, maybe eventually up to the 618, and then, you know, maybe pull back before another leg, something like that. Like, it could continue. That's what I'm trying to say. The weekly looks good. The 3 days overbought though, so you know we could be getting a break. We got this breakout. We could get a back test, consolidate, reset the oscillators, continue. Chart looks pretty good. Combo is another one, man. This is a potential bridge token, okay? And yeah, falling wedge broke out, back tested, and starting to rally again. You can see that I had this wedge drawn out here. It broke the wedge, went to the top, so probably pulls back again. But man, zoom out. Your weekly hasn't even... Yeah, I mean, this thing has lots of room to run, man. Like, that $1 level looks pretty good for this one. Angel, what's up, dude? Some of these gaming coins are going to really rally, man. That's what it looks like. Alice, YGG made a huge rip. This one's just holding this level here at 30 cents. Just got a back test. 4 hour stochastics look ready to run, man. This might just go again, dude. Like, why not? Why not just send it? Three-week and 2-week on this look like they're about to rip. I would say it broke out and just, I don't know, man. It hasn't really seen any follow through, but this thing's oversold. Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty good down here. Sushi's another one that just broke out, man. I mean, here you go. Sushi swap. Looks like it's got some more room to come down, man. This one. Like, didn't even make it to the top of the range here and just started selling off. Right, you got like a triple top. I mean, you got your support here at 38. You don't hold that, man. You're coming down to the bottom of the range. Doesn't look too good. I just bought this stock called SoundHound AI. Okay, I bought this one. Because the weekly just went outside of the band. Okay. On regular candles. But out on also HA, it's just outside, man. I mean, and it also just came down to touch and test this 236 fib extension. All right. So I think, and I could be wrong, but the 2-day and the daily chart are oversold. And, you know, I don't really have any. Yeah, the daily is telling me that we bottomed out and we started ticking back up here on the daily. The 2-day also is pretty wrecked, pretty close to oversold. So not a bad place to strategize building a position, even if it ends up breaking this low. We'll see. It's not like I bought the range high, right? I'm buying near the range low. So that was one I picked up on Friday. We'll see how that one goes. Another one that I've been looking at is EVLO. Although, again, this is a little extended. I just like how the ADX is still pretty bullish with the momentum swinging up here in the monthly. The monthly is just about to swing up. And look at your RSI, man. This thing's wrecked. 31. Monthly squeeze. Monthly MACD cross up. So even if it just consolidates up here for a bit and doesn't initially break out, I think eventually this thing will break out. And it's just flagging up here. It's not, you know, I guess it could break down here, but Monday they report earnings, so I guess Monday we'll find out. Tomorrow this thing's gonna dump, right? It'll probably dump back down to $7, and then who knows? Dump it and then rip it. Cool. Who cares? But yeah, I think this one on the monthly looks great. No idea what they really do, but they're a pharmaceutical company. Monthly chart looks great. This was another one that I liked. This package software company here, holding major long-term channel up. The weekly, we're talking about stocks. I'm sure people are going to drop off, but yeah, I mean, you got the weekly stochastics about to cross up. I mean, the whole 9 yards on this setup here. This looks great. BBAI is another one that I'm in. It hasn't broke the channel yet. I started buying it here at like $2 at the 618 off this bounce, but rejected here. But Friday it was up 8%, so I'm thinking maybe this does eventually break out of this channel, right? The daily's oversold now. The 2-day still has some room, but we'll see. Yeah, the ADX is definitely leaning towards the bearish side right now. The daily also leaning towards the bearish side. The weekly is about to cross bearish, but the weekly stochastics down here are about to cross up too. So could just be some more consolidation before it actually breaks out of here. We'll see how this one plays out. The all-time high was $16. I think my entry was around $2. So I didn't buy this low at 70 cents, but I bought in this consolidation range. So we'll see how that one goes. Upwork, you guys know I took this trade. I actually exited here because I think it's going to pull back at this level. All right. right? The weekly stochastics kind of topped out. I mean, it did break the weekly squeeze. It could continue a bit. I mean, the weekly is already looking overbought, though, at around 70. So that's why I exited. But this thing could just pull back, make a higher low, and then run again, like maybe it just comes back down to like, I don't know, $12. Anyways, you guys want to look at some other stuff, let me know. Post them in the chat. We've been live for about an hour now. H-bar is ripping. Unfi is ripping. All right. If nobody else has any questions or comments or requests, thank you guys for joining the show, and hopefully we have a good week here. Like I said, I don't really expect too much for Bitcoin. We could see some retests of the range lows. We could go sideways. We could ultimately see this 27.8K. That's the daily or 200-day moving average here. We are made closures outside this major trend line that we were expecting. But then again, we could also just see this pop in, pop back out. Like anything can happen right here. We are in a territory right now that is, I would still say the bulls are in control, right? ADX is still bullish. We have some nice separation though, so we want to pay attention to that. The daily is getting pretty close to the bears trying to take back control, but they haven't done it just yet. The 4 hour, same with the 4 hour. The 4 hour, the bulls are still in control, but you can see that we're pointing down. So, but until they actually take control of the asset, the bulls are still in control of the asset. So I say it's a big week for Bitcoin this week. But as we are seeing, altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin right now. We have H-bar making a run. UNFI about to break out of this descending triangle. We posted that on our trading view the other day. You guys should take a look at that. If you guys aren't following me there, you guys should. I'm posting long-term swing trades here, Hook Protocol and all the other ones that I posted. Here's the UNFI descending triangle I posted 8 hours ago. Yeah, man, this looks great. This looks fabulous. So yeah, I mean, we can take a look at some of the ones that I did post. Here's the sushi chart I posted on July 5th. The price of the asset was 71. We're sitting around 75. It hasn't done really much yet, but you can see it's trying to test and break out of there. Storage, we posted that on July 4th before it broke out. It is back down to 29 cents. I think it had a scam wick or something. It broke out. You'll see. It scammed up to like 57 cents and pulled back. Aave we posted on July 3rd. You know, the triple bottom down here at $55. It's still trading above that, $66, but I think it traded up almost to like $80 or something, right? You can see it broke out and it went to 90. All right, so it doubled up from where I posted the trade. All right, we're flipping longs right now, guys. We're flipping longs right now in this market. We just triggered some longs on altcoins, all right? Interesting price action going to happen here for altcoins, like I said before. And as long as Bitcoin doesn't make candle closes back into that weekly Gaussian channel, I think we are in a bull market. Or the start of one, okay? Well, I want to thank you guys for joining the stream. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you guys leave some feedback for me. You know, I'm really trying to grow this channel, and you know, I feel like I get the same folks on the stream, which is great. I appreciate all the continued support. But I would love to impact more people, man. That's my goal. My goal is to impact as many people as I can. So thank you guys again for joining the stream, and we'll catch you guys next week. All right.